I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So today, we're going to have like a semi-mission kind of thing here. Pardon me. The Night Lords and the Drukhari are going to try and, win control of this portal thingy here. So if they can, whichever unit or whichever army can hold it for 2 battle rounds wins the game. Or if one army destroys the other army, then obviously the winner is the winner. Doing on these little platforms that I'm choosing to call hills today. A little bit of ruins in the area, a couple of random trees just to break things up, and we'll go meet our armies. Let's start with Chaos because they're closest. So we're going to have this Master of Executions leading the group. A 12-man unit of Space Marines with a heavy bolter. The Inspired Champion has a chainsword and a plasma pistol, and everyone else has a bolt pistol chainsword. 5 warp talons that will teleport in. 3 bikers. 10 cultists. A greater possessed. An obliterator. And a rhino. And because I think it's just about the funniest thing in the world, and point-wise, I couldn't, either way. The cultists will be riding in the rhino. I was trying to match Tracy's Drukhari army across the board battlefield roll wise and not just point wise, so yeah, that's why I got a lot of Space Marines. Just won't fit that many in a rhino, so the cultists get a free ride for a little while today. And Tracy's Drukhari, we got a succubus, 10 witches, 5 incubi, 10 Kabbalite warriors, 2 squads of 5 scourges, a venom that will be carrying the incubi, 2 reavers and an arena champion, and a Talos that still scares me no matter who I'm playing. It does indeed kill most of my stuff, so. Alright, so I guess I will set up for deployment. Okay, so the Night Lords kind of roll that, so they chose this hilltop over here, where everybody is pretty much all clustered together, all close-like. The cultists are in the Rhino, the Obliterator and the Warp Talons are just waiting to port in. In the spirit of semi-fairness, the Drukhari then got the opposite diagonal thingy, and all of their units are on here, with the exception of the Incubi and the Venom. The Reavers and Arena Champion are just kind of hanging out there on the bottom. I guess we can give the... they get a 6? They did not get a 6. Alright, so that'll make it Night Lord's turn 1 movement. And we'll go to that. So pretty much everything just advanced forward. These bikes made a suicidal jump off the hill. They're the only ones that made it that far. This Obliterator teleported into right here. He will never move again. Huge blob of Space Marines advanced forward a little bit. Greater Possessed got a bad roll, as did the Master of Executions. The Rhino, I guess they're considering their short plunge off of that. There are no Psychers. Literally no one is in range for shooting. Obviously not close enough for any sort of charging. So that'll make it Drukhari turn 1. Well, this might be a short battle. Scourges can fly really far. So this unit of Scourges just flew over here, and they have taken control of the portal already. This unit of Scourges, the Venom, the Succubus, and the Kabbalites have all left the hill and are heading this way. The Witches and the Talos kind of far behind them. The Reavers and Arena Champion just kind of up here skirting this edge. So yeah, Slanesh and all that, so no psychics. I've done the measuring, and literally the only two people that can shoot are these front two scourges right here. So the first one on the left, I guess, will shoot at this obliterator, and the other one will shoot at the mob of Space Marines. So we'll see. Well, it was a long shot, but the obliterator saved and the Space Marines saved. So that'll take us on over to Night Lord's turn 2. So the mob of Space Marines has hopped down here. The bikers just moved up forward to get in range of these scourges. The Warp Talons teleported in. The Obliterator did not move. The Master of Executions advanced over to here. In my head, this did some sort of like weird A-team Jeep jump off the hill here and landed in a cloud of dust. Ah, my heater turned on. I will apologize now for my voice if it gets higher or lower. I am in a basement. My heater does occasionally turn on. The Girder Possessed advanced up to there. So, no psychers, so shooting phase. Okay, so that was kind of satisfying. These guys shot their commie bolters at the Scourges, who were within rapid fire range. They killed 2 of them. The Obliterator killed 3 of these guys. Obliterators are death when you're facing them, but they're great when you have control over them. And the Rhino, with his Havoc launcher, kind of just pinged off the armor of one of these guys, so one of them took a point of damage. Nobody's really close enough for a charge attempt, so we'll go on to Drukhari turn 2. So this is their first round of control. If these guys survive or they get these guys up here, which they probably will, I don't know, but if they still control it at the end of their next turn, they win. But, you know, they gotta survive until then, so we'll do Drukhari movement now. These Scourges did indeed fly up here to join their brethren to help hold the portal. The Venom just flew over here. Succubus advanced over to here. The Coblites just moved forward. The Witches advanced off the hill. The Talos just kind of flew off the hill. The Reavers, Arena Champion, flew over on top of this hill. So that'll take us to a crap ton of Drukhari shooting. Poison weapons are great when you're a Drukhari player. So here's to the death of chaos. The Night Lords made a lot of really, really good saves. These Scourges tried to kill these Warp Talons and failed. These Scourges tried to kill these Warp Talons and failed. This Venom did manage to kill a biker, but the Coblites and the Talos all failed to even wound the bikers. And the Reavers and Arena Champion failed to even cause any damage to the Rhino. So, yeah. So we're not gonna charge anybody directly yet, so it'll go on to Night Lord's turn 3. Movement. Well, unfortunately, the Warp Talons hopped over here to help contest the portal, so Drukhari die goes away. These Space Marines just kind of moved forward. These bikers kind of moved in front of this Venom in a threatening sort of way. The Master of Executions advanced over to the edge of the hill. The Obliterator didn't move. The Greater Possessed advanced to the base of the hill, but didn't quite have enough distance to make it up. And the Rhino just moved forward. So I'm choosing not to bring the cultists out yet. Not entirely sure. I think that they would really just be fodder. I don't know. Maybe I want them to live a little bit longer. I don't know. Either way, we're gonna go on over to Night Lord's shooting. The Obliterator obliterated this squad of Scourges. The Bikers did a little bit of damage to the Venom. And then the 8 guys in this squad that can shoot at the Venom did so, and yeah, did a decent amount of damage to it. Didn't kill it, it's still here. That'll take us on over to the charge phase. It's definitely going to be these Warp Talons going into these Scourges. So the Scourges failed to kill anything on Overwatch, and the Warp Talons most definitely murdered the Scourges. So now, at the moment, the Night Lords are in control, but it is the end of their turn, so we'll go on to the Drukhari turn. Okay, the Venom flew up to the top of the hill and dropped its incubi off. Succubus just jumped up to the top of the hill. These witches advanced away from the edge. Talus just kind of moved over to get the Space Marines in sight. Kabalites just moved forward, because sure, why not? And the Reaver Arena Champion did not move. So we will go into Drukhari shooting. So the Venom pumped all of his rapid fire into the Bikers and didn't do anything. And the Kabalites and the Talos killed off one of the Bikers and did a little bit of damage. Yeah, that was pretty much it. The Reavers missed the Greater Possessed completely. So we'll go on to the charge phase, which will be the Succubus and the Incubi charging into the Warp Talons. That was kind of an intense battle, actually. So the Succubus and the Incubi charged the Warp Talons. The Succubus killed the Warp Talon, and the Incubi killed the Warp Talon, and in return, the Incubi killed the Warp Talons killed 2 Incubi. So, yeah, good times. And that'll take us on over to the Night Lord's turn. So the Warp Talons are going to stay in combat with those guys. The Obliterator's just going to hang out over there. The Space Marine mob is surging out of the little alleyway thing here. The Master of Executions came up off the hill. He moved over like an inch. The Greater Possessed has hopped up with the Reaver Arena Champion. And the Rhino has come around the hill on this side. So yeah, we'll go into Night Lord shooting. So the Obliterator destroyed the Venom. The Rhino destroyed the last Reaver. The Space Marines killed the 4 Kabbalite warriors, and the Biker killed another one. So that'll take us to charging and fight phase. These guys will continue fighting. The Greater Possessed will charge the Arena Champion, and these Space Marines are probably for sure charging these Kabbalites. The Greater Possessed successfully charged and killed the Arena Champion. The Space Marines successfully charged but only killed 1 Kabbalite. And up here, one of the Warp Talons killed off an Incubi, and nothing else happened. Portal still contested. Drukhari turn. So the Incubi and Succubus are just going to hang out and fight these Warp Talons for the portal. The Kabbalite warriors fell back. The witches moved up. Talos moved up to allow the witches to move up. I just realized that that's all that's left for Drukhari. Well, they still have a fighting chance. They got a Talos that's got full health, so anything is possible as we go into Drukhari shooting. Well, the witches managed to kill a space marine, and Talos managed to kill nothing. So we'll go to the charge fight phase, which will be the witches and the Talos charging these guys, and the incubi and the succubus hopefully killing these guys off. Well, the incubi and the succubus managed to kill the last space marine warp talons up here, so they once again control the portal, but in their charge experience, the Talos killed one, the witches killed a couple, but lost 7 witches in the experience. So yeah, that'll take us on to the Night Lord's turn. So the incubi and the succubus will remain uncontested on the portal area for the moment. The Master of Executions has moved up to threaten the Talos. The bikers just kind of hung out. The Space Marines are going to stay in combat. The Rhino moved up a little bit closer and it dropped out its cultists. And the Greater Possessed has moved off of this hilltop and is also moving towards the portal hill. So that'll take us into Night Lord shooting. So the Chaos Space Marines used their pistols to wipe out the witches. The bikers killed off a Cobalite warrior. And the Obliterator killed an incubi. So that'll take us on over to the charge fight phase, which will be Master of Executions charging into the Talos, which is already in combat with the Space Marines. So this will be a good time. The Master of Executions did make its charge and did do 2 points of damage to the Talos. The Talos then turned around and killed 3 Space Marines who weren't able to do any damage to it in return. So that'll take us over to the Drukhari turn, where they once again are on their first round of successfully holding this. So look at movement, which I'm thinking is going to be non-existent. So we'll just go into shooting, which is just these Coblites right here. The Coblite warriors managed to kill off the last remaining biker. So that takes us to the fight phase, which would be the Talos against... Yeah, he's probably going to try and kill off these Space Marines. The Talos did kill several Space Marines, but the Master of Executions managed to finish it off. So that'll take us over to the Night Lord's turn, and the hope that they can take this hill. So I had some really good advance rolls. The Cultist just barely made it up there. The Greater Possessed also just barely made it up there, but the Master of Executions most definitely made it up there. The Rhino is just staying where it is. These guys are just turned around, menacing eyes staring at these Coblites. The yellow die went away for the Drukhari, so hopefully these two can hold out against these guys. They probably can against the Cultists, no problem. But we'll see what the Night Lords can do for shooting. So these Space Marines managed to kill 2 of the Coblites, and then the Rhino killed the 3rd one. Somehow, against all expectations, these cultists actually killed the last incubi. But the succubi managed to save really, really well, so we'll get into the charge phase, which will be the everybody up here into the succubus pretty much. So everyone was able to charge in, and yeah, she did kind of die, but she survived all the attacks from the cultist, and she managed to make her saves against the Greater Possessed, but she did make her saves against the Master of Executions, and he killed her. So by virtue of death of the other team, the Night Lords do indeed win this one. I had a lot of hopes for the Drukhari. It looked like they were going to do well. They had somebody on the portal hill pretty much the entire game. So, yeah, this was a good time. I'm probably going to do something a lot like this. Necrons against Drukhari. Probably a lot less Necrons. Um, so, yeah. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and have a good morning.